Brooklyn's historic The Black Lady Theater is now taking bookings. Host your next birthday party, concert, networking event, baby or bridal shower, wedding, art show, gala, corporate event, live stage play, audition, and so much more. At the one and only The Black Lady Theater. Mention code GODCAST for 15% off your rental fee. Code good for the first time customers only. Valid for a limited time. Call 718-771-0900 to book your event today.
Hey, today is Monday, October 21st. Making today's math.
Wisdom, knowledge, all being born to understanding.
That's right. Speak on what you know and make others understand what you know. Peace. Yeah. Welcome back to Yanadameen Godcast. I'm Lord Jamar.
I'm Digga.
Right about now, we have a special guest with us.
Yes, sir.
In the house, we have Brooklyn's own DJ Punch. Everybody clap it up.
What's up, man?
How are you, sir?
I'm great, man. Rainy day. Feel great, though.
Yes,
I'm loving the color scheme.
Thank you.
Teal is my favorite color.
6'6" niggas don't do colors like this too much.
You said 6'6".
Yeah, they get nervous.
First of all, when you walked through the door, I said, oh, this brother's a little taller than his Instagram would indicate. Yeah, you're definitely much taller than I thought you were. I assumed you to be tall, but not that tall.
Yeah,
Not
I'm ready to
6'6" tall.
I'm definitely shooting guard ready.
Right, so is that what, I assume you used to play ball, yes?
I mean, as a kid, man, I used to bust people's ass. That's about it.
But like,
I can't run now.
was you like a high school phenom or something?
Yeah, I was like top 100 in the country for about most of my high school career.
Okay.
Nice.
And so what happened?
I had shattered my wrist about anywhere between a little bit under 2 weeks before signing. But I mean, I would have went Big East. I would have did something. I was big.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
I led New York in I'm not that tall, but I led New York in shots blocked. I'm only like top 5 like all time.
What school were you playing for?
I was playing on LaSalle.
Okay.
Yeah, I was with Lenny Cook,
Nice.
the infamous Lenny Cook.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, he has a whole movie about him never making it.
Yes.
The number one
that
high
was
school
a great fucking movie.
He's the number 1 high school basketball player in the country his entire life.
Wow, and you played
Until 12th grade, and then Amari Stoudemire jumped in front of him, and then you see him get blackballed, and it just went. That's about it's a rough movie, man.
Wow.
So for those of you that don't know DJ Punch, I mean, tell people a little bit about yourself, because you kind of came on my radar as of recent, from among other things. But we're going to get to all of that.
Yeah.
But just to give people a little bit about your background.
Well, I mean, I'm Punch. Rarely called DJ Punch.
This is going to be your camera if you want to talk straight to the people.
Rarely, I started off doing songwriting and rapping like everybody else. I used to battle. I came up with Smack and all of the good guys.
How old are you right now?
I'm a little over 30.
Okay.
1 or 2 years.
It's
My
okay.
birthday just passed.
It's okay.
I'm not mad at anything.
Yeah.
I'm going with it. It's the internet. We having fun. Did the rap shit for a while. And then I had ripped my vocal cords. And that really, really like changed everything. I just posted about it again because a lot of the supporters and the fans wanted to ask me why I spelled my name Pvnch. So I had ripped my vocal cords. I had a situation on the table from Warner and Interscope. And I was working really heavily with Wiz Khalifa.
How does one rip their vocal cords?
Yeah, it's crazy. So I was hosting a party. So I was living off of like throwing parties. In New York, it was like a real, real big thing. There was like a transition from like all of the big city clubs. And then like just young New York had a whole new transition where like Long Island, Queens started lighting up as like the main spots because Brooklyn was so aggressive. They started shutting down all the Brooklyn clubs. It just became like this transition. And we were able to ride that wave and throw parties with 3,000-4,000 people in there. Like in Missouri before they shrunk it down, and the river, and all of these humongous spaces we were doing. We did Chris Brown's birthday party, Trey Songz, like when it was like when they were at their like cream of the crop, we had like a whole bubble working. And I was hosting a party, and then I thought I lost my voice, and it just didn't come back. I couldn't talk for about 4 months, nothing at all. And
So
for
this
about
is just from like yelling on the mic,
just
type.
abusing it.
Shut
You know, pause, but I thought this is a muscle and we abuse it. You're taking shots, you're around smoke, you're around really, really dry, terrible like situations. You're not drinking enough water, you're not resting a lot. Take every single one of those things and maximize it and then be on the mic yelling every single day. And then, you know, it's like anything else. Some people can just, it's like, I tell everybody like this, if you're curling and you're like this, I could do this all day. And then your arm's gonna get tired and you're gonna be like, all right, cool, I need to stop. What happens is that when our voice gets tired, most of us start yelling louder. You get what I mean? And it just happened to me that I had a weaker vocal cord than the average person, I guess, and then it ripped.
Right, so you can't be like Fat Man Scoop, Brooklyn Clan. You can't do that because that can hurt your throat.
Man, that might hurt my soul, man. That might hurt my soul. You know, but you know, it was a crazy time period. It took me about 14 months to get full vocal strength, and then during that period, like I just felt like life was like moving in slow motion. Like I felt like I could see it in slow motion. I was able to just observe so much, learn so much. Me as a human, me as like a creative, like a musical mind, everything like that. So I really started focusing more on songwriting. I was like, yo, if I ever wrote a song for Chris Brown or Trey or this rapper, that rapper, I started like really just penning specifically for people and developing that. And then I taught myself how to DJ in the time. I had a lot of free time. You know, I didn't really want to be outside. I was sounding weird. My voice would crack. Right. You know, I think even as like a grown man, we underestimate just how it feels when you got that power and you got some bass in your voice where you're like, yeah, excuse me. They looking at you like, what's up, man? Speak up, nigga. He's like, I can't.
You weak or something?
You know? I actually can't, you know? So it definitely was a whole, you know, kick to the gut. But once I was back in full effect. Then I started DJing. I was DJing for a couple years, and my city really wasn't fucking with me. Brooklyn wasn't rocking with me. They was like, yo, you rap. What are you doing DJing? It wasn't a transition at all to go from rapping and battle rapping, especially when you, the loud motherfucker in the middle of it, going with Serious Jones, Lux, Charlie Clips, Murder Mook, my peers of, you know, everybody who's doing
like that
shit. Yeah, all the time. I was just with Serious Jones 2 nights ago. This is my friends. You know what I mean? And when you're doing this shit, and then now all of a sudden it's like you DJing, it was not the transition. I was definitely one of the first people in my demo to do that shit. And what happened was I went to the city, and I was just paying for pennies.
Because I feel like in the beginning, that transition, like now it's cool.
It's the coolest shit.
Now it's cool, but in the beginning,
I was one of the first people.
It was like falling. Like you didn't make it as a rapper.
No, you fell off, 100%. Yeah, they looked at it. That's what it was. It's like, oh, you never made it, so now you do this. Yeah. You know, I just kept doing it. I got really, really lucky. And one of the guys who was helping me out in my early career of this party shit ended up doing some NBA draft parties. Then I became like an NBA sanctioned DJ. Oh, wow. And then it skipped me up like 10 levels, like immediately in my career. So I literally went from not being that hot to now all of a sudden I'm getting paid, you know, triple, quadruple my peers because it's NBA checks and everything just started just changing. And then by that point, I'm a branding guy. I always knew how to position shit. So I just started accelerating. And at that point, I'd come back to my peers and be like, why y'all not fucking with me? I get paid more than y'all niggas. I'm still back on my bully. I'm still a 6'6". I'm a whole aggressive nigga. Like, I'm not gonna play too much with niggas.
We see
so
that.
I'm on you. You know what I mean? That. And, you know, I felt like it. And a lot of my peers, some embraced, some didn't. I have a very good memory card. I pay attention. And the ones who didn't embrace, I got a lot more power now. I might move them out the picture a little bit. That's just how I move it now. I give it up like that. And because at the end of the day, you just had to be a sucker if you didn't embrace it. I worked really hard. I knew my shit. I put pain in. I'm a stand-up nigga. I never cut niggas' throat to be where I am. So if you didn't embrace me, you a sucker. You get what I'm saying?
Well, let me say that.
She's the voice of reason.
No, not even so much reason.
I love Rah Digga.
Like, no, because I'm listening to you say, like, those that didn't embrace. Like, what would would you feel that way to, like, say the OG
not at all.
turntablist that might feel, that they look at the Serato generation like that ain't, okay.
No, my peers, 100%. I wasn't even focused. I knew, one thing about me is that I'm always very self-aware of where I was at. I knew I was a laptop kid. I would say it. That's why, even Jamar, a lot of people call me DJ Punch, but I don't have, my name says DJ Punch nowhere unless a flyer guy does it by mistake. I don't do that. I have a high amount of respect for what the prefix of DJ means. And because I'm not a turntablist and I don't come up on records, I don't own the name. I don't take that on.
So what, do you just Punch?
Yeah, I'm just Punch. But I'm a bigger brand because of it now, because of how the culture has changed. It's such a unique thing. Now, if you're black and a DJ, you're going to get paid like $500 unless you're on radio.
Because I feel like somebody you were introduced to me as DJ Punch.
I'm not mad
Somebody
at it.
said that DJ Punch.
Cool.
You know
No,
what I
because
mean?
what happened is that.
I think it was Johnny Fastlane.
Yeah, shout out to Johnny
Fastlane.
Fastlane. He showed shit ton of love.
He's always hooking some great shit up.
So to fast forward it to where that it all tie in. 2015 fall, I'm in the club, fucking it up. Somebody from Effin' Vodka's in there was like, yo, I'm from Effin'. You know, I'm like, all right, cool, sure you are. He's like, yeah, man, I'm sure it's 50 Cent. And I'm looking at these niggas like, sure you're not.
Right.
And I went, I just started playing shit. Well, show the shit to 50. Tell 50, cut me a check. I'm just talking crazy.
Right.
I probably have 2,000 followers. I ain't really worth shit. At that point, I'm a talent. And what happened was my DJ presence was so loud because I used to be a rapper. So my crowd control was A1 compared to most DJs at that time who were like, you get what I'm saying? I'm literally like, all right, cool, button. Hold the fuck up. Let me tell y'all what's, and it just was this new thing. You know, Envy got really, really big with the style and because he just became, like Envy was one of the first guys of our wave to really crack the mic and really let records breathe, talk again, and then all of a sudden this whole new style. Now everyone does it. It's like the typical shit. But at one point, it was like a very, very rare thing. They were like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
Play the records. Don't talk so much.
Yeah.
Like, I'm stopping music. You get what I mean? DJs are lowering it, still playing.
Right.
Hold up. Awkwardly in the middle of shit. Let me talk to y'all. But it was this unique thing that I did, and it was very captivating because it was so unique. But I was doing it at the beginning because I couldn't mix. And then when I learned how to mix, I just would do it sometimes to almost poke at someone older DJ, more skilled, to look at them like, you can't do that. I'm like, I really can't. If you push me out, like,
right.
And now all of a sudden I have another arsenal,
this transition.
but I've already owned that style, so I can do both. And then got really big. Ended up me and 50. Shout out to Heineken, Jeremy Bettis, Dutch, the people who really, really plugged it to make it work. Ended up me and 50. 50 loved it. They put me on there, and in my first 90 days at This Is 50, which they made me a personality on the website, did 4.1 million views, which was the biggest debut for This Is 50, which at that point was the #7 highest trafficked hip-hop music website in the world. So, you know, This Is 50 was This Is 50.
Okay.
But I also came to This Is 50 humbly on its decline. So when I came there, it had about 100,000 subscribers. A lot of people give me credit for reheating it. You get what I'm saying? And making it cool again. Jack Thriller had fell back. Jack was trying to build his own brand off of the brand. Because, you know, after a while, he hit those levels so many times. It's like, people were looking at him like, what are you going to just keep doing? You know what I mean? He left. There was this gap. I kind of took it over and reheated it. And then me and Heineken and the other personalities up there, we boomed it up. And then I just became the guy who was bringing up all the new artists. So at that point, I was using my ear and my perspective on how the culture was and picking people really early. Like I did Desiigner's very first interview. I interviewed Desiigner 7 days before he met Kanye. And I tell people like this, I don't try to take more credit than I am, but I know the power of the domino that I played in the whole effect.
That's right.
You get what I mean? Like very, 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 like Desiigner, and I interviewed Desiigner on a Friday. No shots. It's my boy, straight out the project, from the hood, from Lexington. He came in there, dirty shirt. He had to go buy a hoodie before. Like, nigga, I'm about to put you in front of 1 million motherfuckers. We can't do this.
With that dirty ass shirt.
You get what I'm saying? He came in there, fresh new hoodie right over it. He's a kid though. People don't even understand. Desiigner just turned 19.
Right.
I had him on camera. That interview almost never came out. His whole life could have changed if legal didn't approve it because he had an effing cup in his hand the whole time drinking. And effing was about to have their brand with an underage drinking.
Right.
But then at no point we had to take out the part where he poured it and then we just said he had a cup. But realistically, that would have changed everything. What happened was Carmelo came to the office on Monday, one of the effing mob guys. 50 asked him a question, who the hottest in the city? He's like, yo, there's some new kid named Panda and Desiigner, and he has Future on it. And 50 was just like, what?
Future on it?
100%. And they was just like, yo, Punch had him up here, that's Punch Boy. And 50 was like, what? First time 50 ever called my phone. Yo, nigga. I was like, yo. You know, he's like, yo, this nigga that you brought up here, nigga, tell this nigga I want to meet this nigga. I said, Desiigner? Yeah, whatever that nigga name is, man. Tell that nigga come up here, man. I came up in the office, I'll never forget, it was like 6 o'clock. 50 was in the room, and Panda was playing, and he was in there and said, yo, tell me why this shit is fucking hot. He was confused. He didn't get it. He said, this shit sounds just like Future. How can y'all niggas say it's hot? This is somebody else's whole shit. And I said, big bro, you're looking at this really wrong. And that's the first time when me and 50 kind of had a little head-to-head where he like, nigga, this shit ain't gonna move, man.
So what was it that
Okay,
you saw in it?
I was gonna say now explain because I'm of that.
Because I would have said the same shit.
Yeah, like
this is a fake Future.
Somebody
I think
did
y'all
that
came
already.
from an era to where it's like you had to own such an individualized identity that if you didn't have that and didn't possess that you weren't of talent. And in today's day and age, the computer controls everything. Most of the people that came from the computer were the underdogs. They were the inside kids, not outside. They weren't really playing outside. So the guys who really control the computer are the underdogs. So they're like, I'm happy that I'm just here. And then those guys start to become the editors. Those guys start to become the webmasters. Those guys start to run the websites. So then the culture and the type of music starts to change on what's accepted. So no matter what OGs and powerful people wanted to say, the masses were still controlled because the internet started to control the culture. So no matter what the voices said, the new culture was, if we like it, we like it. It don't matter if it's heavily inspired or even a duplicate, which I don't think Desiigner is a duplicate of Future. But
now, you know, breaking it down like that, I get it. But at what point does this, you know, this new generation come in and stop, take a beat, and say, wait, maybe we should follow suit with what the OGs are saying?
They'll never do it.
They'll never do it?
Never. No way. There's no point. There's no value in that. You're putting too much of a heavyweight on morality, and they're just trying to put a heavyweight on trying to escape the situation. We grew up, you know, I'm in the middle ground. You get what I mean? I'm the middle ground of the whole shit. So I always understand what my OGs talk about, and I understand what the younger peers talk about. You get me? Which is why I'm like the leader of the new guys. You can't have a peer be the leader. It wouldn't make sense. But there's the gap. My biggest argument, which we'll get to more definitively, is that the gap is too wide. There's a hole in between that's not being spoken for. That's what my entire narrative is. But to digress exactly what you're saying, you're asking too much of a culture that is going to allow each other to just take the back door anyway. You're like, nah, but what about like morals and code of conduct? Like where y'all go, nah, nigga, that's just like this. And they're like, and I'm just like,
what about rules?
I mean, would it be too much to do both?
Rules must mean that there has to be a leader. And because they're not allowing us to empower ourselves, as in like the leaders of the new school, we don't have any rules to follow. So now we're looking
but there are rules if you look at it.
Minimal.
If you look at it like for instance, you know, I guess we'll get to the whole shit with you and Flex, right?
Yeah.
But like, so one of the things you said to him is, you said, you probably still wear bootcut jeans.
Yeah. It's the wide cut. It's
right. So that's a rule, right? That's one of your new rules. Don't wear bootcut jeans.
100%.
Right? It should, okay. So this rule, everything
Our image
has
is
rules.
drastically more important.
Everything has rules, and something that really struck me is when you said the inside kids.
Yeah.
It's kind of the inside kids versus the outside kids, because we are the outside kids. When we come up, we was outside.
Agreed.
Like we didn't never want to come inside.
Agreed. Some of our biggest stars are like the most introverted, awkward people that you would even ever
right, and it seems like now these kids, and I could look from my own kids. These motherfuckers, they'll be hard pressed to want to go outside. They'd rather be in the crib, on the computer,
working the phone,
video games, whatever the fuck they doing.
See, this is.
But there's rules to that. You see what I'm saying?
Minimal rules. I didn't say there's none. I just said there's minimal. You get what I mean? It becomes more of a societal.
There's probably
rule
more than
and
you're
more
thinking
of a more of like a societal, more of like an acceptance thing versus y'all. The thing that I always tell people like this is that back then I know that niggas were getting checked. Nobody's getting checked right now. Like a rapper was really gonna run his mouth. Someone was really gonna put their hand on their shoulders and be like, "Are you sure you mean that, my nigga?" Someone's gonna put that's not even a possibility nowadays. There's so much security and so much distance and so many avoidance. Even look at Rolling Loud. 5 of our aggressive rappers from New York weren't even allowed to come into the space. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, no diss to them or none of that, but y'all get what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So the aggressive guys or the known aggressives with the teams couldn't even come. They're not even gonna allow it to run into each other. You get what I mean? Allow it. I'm there. And, you know, the biggest narrative of that whole thing that was frustrating to me was, and again, this is no shots to them, but we stopping our Crips and our Bloods and shit like that from going, and then Blueface is there. You get what I'm saying? Like, shout out to the cousin and all that. But at the end of the day, I didn't see YG, but YG could have been there too, right? My whole shit is like this. It's like, they're not just stopping the gang. And a lot of the narratives on the internet, like, oh shit, you're in a gang, you can't go. It's not that. It's really like how you're embracing it. You get what I'm saying? Blueface isn't particularly taking his flag and being like, fuck the Bloods. He's just like, I'm Crip, I'm holding my corner.
Right.
Our guys, especially in like the Brooklyn drill shit, that's like
aggressive.
The most prevalent, are literally trying to run into each other.
And is that what you call it, Brooklyn drill shit?
I mean, that's what it is.
Okay.
You know, everybody who tries to run around it they're only running away from it because of the connotation that drill music did to Chicago. So they're nervous to calling this Brooklyn drill.
But that's what you.
But that's what it is.
Okay.
You know, I mean, some of the records that they're playing, it amuses me because I'm not gonna kill none of the guys because I'm friends with this kid. But some of the records they're playing on radio, I laugh because I'm like, you older guys don't even know what y'all are playing. Y'all are playing like whole gang. Like, phrases, and I'm laughing when I'm like, now y'all trying to keep up, but y'all need somebody that's fucking 25 years old to tell you, do not mute that line, please.
And this is what
because you're instigating a gang war,
and this
but
is
they
what
don't know
makes
what the
it
fuck's going
almost
on.
ridiculous sometimes, and why I embraced your message of like, damn, how long are some of these DJs gonna be up in these
100%.
fucking spots?
Right.
Like, how could you feel after coming up from the era that we came in and spinning that kind of music? How could you feel good about yourself right now?
Yeah.
Spinning this music that you don't even fully understand.
I'm a little baby.
Yeah, see,
and no knock to Lil Baby,
No,
but you know what I mean? It doesn't.
I think even this is how I laugh at that the most. Flex being the guy who controls all of the things that he plays. He says he's in charge and he's not a worker and he's not an employee.
New
and all
York
of that.
sounds
right.
like.
He does all of these key phrases that he likes to repeat constantly, but continuously every single night he's forced to still play records. Like when he was antagonized by Drake and he was going at him.
Right.
Hot 97 still said that's fantastic that you don't like Aubrey Graham, but if you don't play Hotline Bling right now, you're gonna get the
You're
fuck
out of here.
So what he did was, oh, y'all want to hear slipper music, standard music, and play it and try to make it amusing. But Bozo, you were forced to do it because you're an employee. So all of that bullshit that a lot of these people talk, I'm not with it. You get what I'm saying? I don't jack it. You get what I'm saying? Even Flex, like I look at, like I said it, and I look at Flex, and I want to accredit him, and I gave him that. And even when I'm joking him, I'm like, all right, cool, you're Jordan. You get what I'm saying? But I grew up under Kobe, so it's salute to you. I get what you used to do. You don't do it now. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're not capable of it. He doesn't have the legs to run like this. You know, I was all in Europe all 2017 and 2018. You know, I did 23 countries, 4 in Asia, Middle East, selling out 30, 40, 50,000 people crowds. You get what I'm saying? With the hottest rapper in the world, who was Tekashi before he started cooperating. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
I could remind people of that every single day and remind people that I was there to create the biggest shit that we've ever seen. But because Bozo starts snitching, I don't stand by it anymore. You get what I'm saying? Because I still have morals. That's that medium ground shit.
And that's a rule for you.
I have a ton of rules.
Do our viewers a favor and just kind of give them, you know, the short story of how things came to blows with you and Flex, because I mean we're aware.
Well, I mean, in the fastest way to give, because
I'm sure somebody's gonna be like, wait, why is he beefing with Flex?
Yeah, how did we get here?
In the fastest ways like this, to get it to where it understood. While I was on This Is 50, I cured like 30, 35 million views, plus about probably 20 or 30 million. We can't say it's mine because they're on other people's pages.
Right.
I become this internet sensation, internet phenom, whatever the fuck that they want to call me, right? I talk really well. I speak my points. I'm not nervous to speak about it. Cool. I was the first person to identify Desiigner was going to be a star, DJ'd for him. Young M.A., I was her DJ the entire time of the Ooh Run. When that went from being written and worked on, we was practicing the show production in my damn crib to where it ends up number 12 on the billboards. I did the entire run. I quit being Young M.A.'s DJ March of 2017. Went back to This Is 50, viral a bunch of more times. Fresh's first major interview, Casanova's first major interview, Moneybag Yo, Luke Nasty, it goes on and on and on, Made in Tokyo. All of the guys who were breaking, I was getting their first interview, not because it was luck, but because I said, I know you're gonna go. And when I stand next to you, it's gonna add those eyes. I know that breaking point, cool. The September of 2017, Tekashi 6ix9ine and me, we crossed paths. I knew he was a little bit before that, even when he was doing the Scum Gang shit with, you know, all of that back and forth shit. When Tekashi came around, a lot of the Treyways, a lot of the Bloods from the Sty and everything like that, from being outside, because I get to do both sides of the shit. On an outside ground level, I see he was around. We went, we stamped it. The record starts going. Gummo blows up. It's this huge viral sensation. I'm the first DJ to really publicly stand by it. I did Tekashi's first interview. This is on the internet for the guys who want to probably beat their keyboard up right now and get angry at it, but that's his first interview. And then we speak about me playing the record and doing all that. Now, where it starts turning for me was I was very active on getting Flex Gummo. I was very active on being like, hello, you know me from the Young M.A. shit. I know that y'all all dragged y'all feet because publicly and worldly, they were like, oh, this is just a dyke who can't rap. That's how the attack was. That was the negative connotation for it. Then when they start seeing that it's not some dyke shit, don't categorize her as what it is. Okay, she lives how she lives. She raps her ass off. Now it starts taking away all of the negative coats that we were putting on it, and now they're like, yo, you got sense. So now when it comes in and now I'm this force on the internet, Funkmaster Flex now, he diss people here and there. You see him send shots and be like, yo, guy, you guys stay over there, man. I know what I'm doing. Now, to the most recent event, Booth and Self was having this conversation back and forth. They were talking about what DJs get paid, what they don't, back and forth. It was a calm situation, and I've always told everyone on my team, I said, if Flex or Self, it had nothing to do with Flex or Self, them being the leaders and the big brands on both stations. I said, if they ever said my name, I'm going to jump on them. Had nothing to do with it. I thought Flex was a cool guy. You get what I'm saying? Good, like my uncle, man. You know what I mean? I want to just play, stickball with him. You get what I'm saying? It's not too active. You don't got to do too much on that. Just, it's a jog to the base. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I'm like, this is all cool. Self gave the opportunity, left the window open, and was like, I don't know if Punch is that OG like that. I know he's big. I know he's done some shows and shit like that. So the fans tore Self up. They jumped on him. What are you talking about? Punch 30 miles, blah, 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 blah. Self jumped on the phone, cleaned it up. Yo, my fault, no disrespect. So when Self did that, I was like, he came at it so respectfully where he was like, I didn't know, my fault. I just felt like, damn, man, I don't want to just, now I'd be clout chasing if I just diss him. We chilling. Mr. C jumps on a live and goes, as an OG, I want to speak for the entire city and go, Punch, you round up all the questions from all of the guys in the city who matter. I'll answer every single question from the OG perspective, and then you play the middle ground of it because you do press. Cool. We did it. Flex's name came up as being the elephant in the room. Cool, cool, cool. I'm thinking everything is all good. I'm calm. I'm in New York the Wednesday. I just came back from LA because I traveled from Master Flex doesn't fly like that. But not that he doesn't have the money. Don't do that. He just doesn't fly because he's not booked that often outside of New York.
Jab master, right?
We got
love it.
So I just was
smooth with
it. It was a very large hotel I was booked at. Fancy shit. Think you'll love it. Like a fountain in the beginning. It's fantastic. But
Flex doesn't stay with those.
Not at all. No way. Come on. He's like resort, senior citizen events, things of the sort.
We might have to take a break and continue.
You get what I'm saying?
Come on,
but as we go, I'm chilling and and my phone is going crazy. Everybody, Flex is dissing you. I'm like, how do y'all know this? He's going crazy. Let me tell you something, Bozo. You only cool on World Star. You only know it on YouTube. Never try to do this because what happens is they keep adding him.
I can hear his voice.
Punch is the next guy up.
Let me tell you something, Bozo.
Yeah, you'll never make it here.
You'll never make it here.
Yeah, go in there, go crazy. This is what New York sounds like. It's fantastic.
This is what New York sounds like.
It's amazing to me. You get what I'm saying? He's telling me what New York sounds like.
I run these streets. I'm in these clubs.
Oh yeah, these are the fantastic things.
Do I kind of sound? I got a good flex, huh?
It's 100%.
Okay.
So
I'm not Godfrey, but I mean,
so the Flex and I have had one time where we were in the club together, which was Rich the Kid's album release party, which I was booked for as the headline DJ in Red Rabbit, which was about either the number 2